The government is lying to you. The media is lying to you. Even your own eyes are lying to you. The simple truth is, we are not alone in the universe. Teddy Gatz is a man on a mission to save Earth from the Andromedon Scourge. Together with his cousin and best friend, Don, they pull off the kidnapping of Oxalis CEO, Michelle Fuller. Michelle claims she isn't an alien, but she was sloppy and left clues only Teddy could find. Directed by Yorgos Lanthimos and written by Will Tracy, with Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone facing off, and introducing Aidan Delbus as Don. How far will Teddy and Don go to prove Michelle is an alien? And how far will Michelle go to reclaim her freedom? Begonia, it's more than just a pretty flower. Welcome to the Burnt or Buttered podcast,
where we discuss movies after we've seen them.
and today we are talking about
Begonia. And, man, what a flick.
Well, so let's start with, the big elephant in the room is that Emma Stone shaved her head for this movie.
Which, is that really that crazy? You know, after G.I. Jane, I feel like shaving the head is kind of mandatory if the character actually shaves their head. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, where it's really not that insane. I feel like people are just doing it just to do it now.
Interesting take. Anyways, she has never done this before, as somebody who has had long hair. You're speaking from the perspective of a shaved head man.
Do you think it's easier to be a bald guy?
I'm not debating easier or harder. I mean, you have to keep that thing shaved. But here's the thing. Coming from long hair to going to almost, to a shaved head.
Yeah.
That changes your face completely. Like,
yeah.
You won't recognize yourself for a while. And so it's kind of cool to see. But the interesting thing about that is that they only had one take. They only had one try at it.
Oh, to actually shave her head.
To actually shave her head.
Yeah.
And they were shooting on 35 millimeter on Panavision. I can't remember exactly which camera it is. There's only one operational camera in the world. This specific camera, I guess it's quieter as the film goes through. And anyways, they actually shot that scene with 4 film cameras so that they wouldn't miss it.
Dang.
Yeah. It was an important scene for them.
Yeah, because this movie is in 4:3, which I don't know. The whole time you just are recognizing that it's in 4:3. You know,
You're talking about the aspect ratio.
Yeah, the aspect ratio of the film, and I kind of don't like it.
Yeah,
I like a widescreen.
Mm-hmm.
You get used to it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what is this, 1944?
I didn't notice it.
You didn't notice it?
I shoot film, so there's so many different formats and sizes of frame that I don't know. I just didn't even think about it.
Yeah. To me, it was just, and I was kind of on the far side of the screen. So like if I looked directly at the screen, I was looking at a black bar. So I had to like glance my vision to the right to like see the center. I mean, in any way you're like looking at the center of the screen, but it was just obvious that there was just a black line, kind of in my vision.
That's why I always try to sit in the middle.
Yeah, I couldn't. This thing was full, which was interesting because it's been out for a little while. There was only 2 showings for the show in the theater, and this thing was half full movie theater, which goes to show kind of it has some momentum. People are talking about it.
Yeah.
Which, to its credit, it is a film that you kind of need to talk about after. There's enough things in it that can be discussed that you can't just leave it without, well, what did you think? You know, there's sometimes you walk out of a movie theater and there's really nothing to be said.
Yeah.
This one definitely isn't that.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I liked a lot about it was that it kept the mystery going, you know, up until the very last moment. The whole time you're like, well, it's implausible, but it's not impossible, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they got me. I was all in on the idea that Teddy was crazy and that it wasn't real. But it's the breakdown of it of when she goes into his cave or whatever, you know, false wall and sees all the other bodies and sees like all the experiments and everything and sees that he's actually like this legitimate expert on the Andromedan race for some reason. And I didn't know if there was like a lock on the door, you know, on the cage above. That's why she couldn't get out, or she just chose to be there. But, yeah, it did make you question it all the way to the very end until she gets out of the ambulance and you're like, no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Even at that point, you're like, yeah, she's probably not an alien. I mean,
yeah,
it went off on accident, basically.
Yeah.
And then she gets out of the ambulance and starts running over, and you're like, this is real.
Could you imagine if he made it to the alien ship and it just blew up the alien ship?
If he hadn't told her that he had it, oh man.
Well, because it just ran, like he didn't set it off. It was a static electricity on his clothes that set it off. And so like
that was a theory.
Oh.
So, I mean, it was a logical explanation for what happened because they don't know that that's actually the transportation device.
Yeah, but the transportation, you think that like her sending him set off the bomb?
I don't know. Because she did back away, like worried that something might, I think she thought that there was a possibility that something could happen.
Yeah. But I mean, the closet was obviously made for a bomb to go off in it. You know, I think it was like a shelter, you know, like a bomb kind of shelter. I think that's what it was made for. And so originally that's what I thought. I was like, oh, she knew that this is like a safe room. It's a safe room for a bomb to go off. And there was some sort of thing that made that bomb go off in the room. But then the police officer was like, oh no, like this happens all the time with homemade, you know, explosives. You know, he actually like armed the bomb before he got into the room. Yeah. Crazy.
And that headbutt.
Yeah.
From across the room, man.
His freaking noggin. Yeah. There were quite a few parts of this movie that were intense. The problem that I have is that I left the theater not really caring if I ever saw it again. You know, like I left it thinking, oh, that was interesting. And, you know, that was a cool way to tell a story. And it definitely led me down a path that I wasn't expecting. The payoff was okay. It wasn't amazing. But then leaving the theater, I was just like, do I ever need to watch it again? And I just feel like I don't need to.
As a person who's seen it twice, I don't think that I left the theater thinking I want to see that again or like I need to see it again so that I can understand things better. But I enjoyed it enough that I was like, I'd watch it again, you know? And so I did.
Yeah.
And I actually liked it more the second time.
Yeah. Did you feel like the second time that you watched it that you got more out of it? Because that was my thing, is just like I feel like I got everything I you know, that orange was squeezed for all the juice that it has, you know, in the first go. I don't really need to dive more. Like going back and seeing Black Phone 2 again, there was things that I wanted to experience again, you know, so it made it going worth it, where I just feel like there's nothing in the movie that I need to experience one more time.
I think, so the things that I noticed the second time around was the first time watching it, I was so concerned with the mystery and trying to figure out if she really was an alien, how did Teddy even figure all this stuff out? So knowing those answers or like a semblance of an answer to those questions going in a second time, I was able to notice other things that I thought were clever or just things that weren't necessarily associated to the mystery of it.
Yeah. The first clue to her like actually being an alien was the voltage test. And sitting there and like seeing how much volts he's like pushing through her body, like it was a question to me of like, how did this person survive? And she has no brain trauma or like nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that was an interesting thing where I was like, man, like, is it just because she works out every day? She takes up all these pills. She's like doing red light therapy and she's just like, you know, trying to maintain her body as in peak performance as it can. But it was like 400 volts should freaking start melting tissue or, you know, like she definitely shouldn't have survived.
Yeah. And the first time watching it, I wasn't sure she did. You know, when Donnie finally turned it off, I was like, oh, she might not have, still be alive from that.
Yeah.
That was a pretty intense scene. The other one that was intense was when he grabbed the chair and was going to hit her with it and then threw it over her. You know, that was a crazy, and then he slapped her afterwards. But that was such an intense scene and it shifted the mood. Just in that scene, you know, there was so many different emotions. Like she's kind of playing with him. She's laughing at him. He's joking around a little bit and then things get serious. And it took like the momentum of the movie and shifted it in a totally different direction, I felt.
Yeah, I did like that. I did like the psychology aspect of it because, you know, she's coming from this high earner, high performer, you know, salesman type personality where her first initial effort is just to lay out the facts, you know, just like this is probably what's going to happen. And, you know, it's not going to end up the way that you think it's going to end up. And then there's always glimpses on each one of these tries that she does as far as like trying to convince them in whichever way, shape, or form. Where you see Teddy acknowledge the tact and then also him acknowledging like his willfulness for violence if it needs to be there. You know, like even at the end of the very first exchange where he's just like, you should just be super grateful that I'm not gutting you right now.
Yeah. It's honestly pretty professional that I'm not killing you right now.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, definitely changed the tone. And then going into the next one where, you know, he tries again and slams a chair, throws a chair. You just see like, oh, this guy can be violent if you know, he's brought there. And she recognizes that, you know, and she's trying to figure out whichever way she can get around. You know, the medical castration aspect of it. I wonder if that was actually super necessary for them to, you know, get past that, because she does try like the sexual side of stuff. And he's like, oh, it was just precaution. Like it's a good thing that I made that precaution or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they hadn't done that, if she would have been able to get out of that situation quicker, easier, or in a different way, you know?
Yeah.
You're thinking that it's unnecessary and it's kind of abusive. But then at the same time, when you see at the end, the payoff that this is like the freaking emperor of the Andromedon people or whatever, maybe it was necessary for them to reach where they were going, because he was right about the hair. He was right about like, you know, everything else.
Well, and even like with that point specifically with the sexual and the chemical castration, right? Like, when she says that, like, is this a sexual thing? You can see how happy he is in that moment that she even brought it up. It's so validating for him to, you know, and for Donnie to see like, hey, I was right. Even if it wasn't like something that she could do.
Yeah.
it was still validating to them.
Because yeah, she brought it up. And then the bees were another thing where, and that was an interesting conversation looking back retrospectively, after, the reveal that she is, emperor of the Dramanon people, whatever.
Yeah.
That conversation of her liking bees and the reason why she likes bees, and, thinking about that eventually, like, things just kind of outlive their necessity. And what was interesting in the very last part, when the human race is all, destroyed, like the dogs are still living, the animals are still living, like it was just the humans.
Yeah.
Which to me, I don't know if I like that or not.
So here's an interesting thing. You know that this is a remake or like a reimagining. Okay.
No.
So it's originally a Korean film called Save the Green Planet. And from what I've heard, I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, the plot is very similar. Like it's pretty much the same plot, but it's just done differently. And so it's not called Begonia originally. That comes from Yorgos Lanthimos. He is Greek, and there's this Greek tradition or like story of the word Bugonia means it's kind of, the word Bugonia refers to this practice of cows when they die. There's this thought that bees will spring up from the carcass of a dead cow, apparently. And it's called Bugonia is this thought. And it's kind of like a phoenix, like rises from the ashes, death to life, new life from death, and all that stuff. So the idea behind calling it Begonia is, number one, it's a weird word. He likes that it's weird and sounds funny. And number two, it's signifying that humans are done. The earth is now given back to all the animals and stuff.
And yeah, from the death of the humans, it's going to be reborn.
Yeah.
Interesting. Still don't like it.
If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And
yeah, the whole tone of the movie is interesting. I do like the psychology side of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because there's every character that's introduced into the film has a psychological element to them. Whether it's his mom, Teddy's mom, Don, you have Michelle, like all the people of the movie have layers to them that we're unpacking throughout the whole movie. Teddy is super interesting because he's crazy smart and figuring out all these things as far as just fully and completely believing that this is true. Even to the point that he believes her that she has a cure for his mom,
right,
and goes and puts antifreeze into her IV.
Crazy.
Yeah. And at the end, it all really doesn't even matter. That's what's interesting about it, is he goes through all this effort. He really tries to make all this work. He ends up killing his own mom. Dawn's dead. He's kidnapped her, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, when the lunar eclipse happened, they were probably going to kill all the humans anyways.
Yeah. I don't think it was the human story, but they did such a good job of making you believe each of these characters. Jesse Plemons did such an amazing job at being this person.
He's always good. Him in Black Mirror, he always is so good at these crazy, crazy humans. There's something about him that is so believable that he could be so dark.
Yeah.
and multifaceted.
I feel like he is stepping into a lot of the roles that, like if Philip Seymour Hoffman was still around, those would be similar. Like they'd be up for similar roles. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Or Joaquin Phoenix. Like Joaquin Phoenix like has the ability of doing the same thing. Like I could see Joaquin Phoenix being this character as well. Yeah.
Which Eddington, these are very similar types of films, I guess. Which is actually funny because Ari Aster, the director and writer of Eddington, originally was involved with this project. The writer and him were collaborating on it, and then they decided it was for Yorgos to do.
The one character that I didn't really understand, I guess it added some escalation to the script, was Stavros. His character as being the sheriff, just a weird. I babysitted you 20 years ago, even though he only looks like he's 35.
Yeah. He does look young. Good skin.
And that he did something to him. He is never explicitly said that he did something to him. It was something bad, something he feels very guilty about. And we don't know if that's what led him down, Teddy down this path of isolation into his own thoughts, into like killing people and like trying to find a drama on race and all these things, or if it's his mom's sickness or what. I guess the escalation of him using the bees to kill him after he just apologized and whatever.
Yeah.
Was another stepping stone of like, oh, this guy is he's become a killer now. We've never seen him kill yet.
Yeah.
We think that he's capable of it. Now he just did. All at the same time while Don is, going through his darkness and we don't know if that darkness was led on by the chemical castration of like him being like, I feel like I'm going crazy. I don't feel like myself. If Teddy actually killed Don as well because of that act. And so all of the people in Teddy's life, are just dying because of him, in some way, shape, or form. But I didn't really get why that had to be in the film in the first place.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. I'm spitballing here. But when I was watching it and it was revealed, like he killed Stavros' character, and then you also see that he's killed many people before this with that secret room. When I saw that secret room, I was like, oh man, he's a serial killer. And then I noticed like all of the pieces and the characters, except for Donnie, are kind of the basis for setting up a serial killer. Like they usually don't have a father. They have an overbearing or like overcritical mother.
Yeah.
And kind of raise themselves, but have like this like lust for their mother a little bit, like in all the dream
like they feel like a desire to be perfect for them, or like to do what they want, to like golden boy type mentality.
Yeah. But nothing that they do is ever good enough, and so I feel like that. Oh, and also a lot of times they're abused, and so I feel like that's where the cop character comes in, is just showing how much trauma that Teddy went through to get to this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of layers to Teddy, which is the redeeming part of this movie, in the way that you're trying to figure him out the entire time. And you think that he's crazy, but also you can tell that he's really smart, but also you can kind of tell that he's just using big words to sound really smart, but isn't really that smart, at the end of the day.
Like he doesn't even know how to pronounce them sometimes.
Yeah, like he is definitely like putting on a facade of like, I'm the savior of the human race, and that's given him this goal. And because that goal is to save the human race, he can do anything that he needs to get there. Because ultimately, if he saves everyone, then that's all that matters, type idea.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to see what would have happened if he would have got on the ship.
Yeah.
And, like what that conversation would have been like, what he would have said to the council, or to when he found out that Emma Stone was the emperor, how that all would have, kind of transitioned and went down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting film for sure.
Yeah. Super interesting. Like you said, there's a lot of depth to these characters. Yeah, I feel like they're really good performances from those key three, like Aidan Delbus and Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. Like all three did an amazing job.
This movie does get into the meat very quickly.
Yeah,
like I was surprised how quickly the abduction happened. I was like, whoa, there's a lot more to this movie than just the kidnapping.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that's interesting about the filming is, so it's based in Georgia, but they mostly shot it in the UK.
Oh.
And for that house, like Donnie and Teddy's house, they actually built it and to look like a farmstead in the US.
Wow.
Yorgos Lanthimos said that the plumbing was not very good. But yeah, they built that whole house.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, it definitely looked like a, backwoods home for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought that the score was actually pretty good. The intensity of the score was really interesting and fun.
Yeah.
To kind of play around with, and you can see the development of the movie with the score. Something that I noticed throughout it.
Yeah. The score in a lot of scenes made like the mundane normal feel grand, and then that made the shots look even better,
Yeah.
Like when he's riding his bike, there's this wide shot and it's like this crescendo of really intense music.
Yeah.
And it just worked so well.
Yeah. It was like startling and loud and different. But yeah, it's just him freaking like riding his bike. Yeah. The introduction of the sheriff is an interesting one, where he's just riding bike. He gets pulled over. You're like, oh, is this going to be something about the kidnapping? Does he know something? Like, like that was interesting, but weird at the same time. Like their interactions are so weird.
Yeah.
Even when he's in the house and he's like, talks about the cake. He's like, oh, you got my Achilles heel over there. I see. He's like, you want some cake?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if you're gonna offer it, sure. Yeah, I'll have some cake. But yeah, there's a lot to this movie that, was different. I think like some of the holes that that never really buttoned up for me was his mom, like what his mom was getting treated for, and how the dream sequences, because obviously they weren't based in reality, how those were supposed to give us like more of a inside look into Teddy. I didn't really connect the dots there, and maybe that's just me as far as what am I supposed to learn from these? Even the dialogue that the mom has, I can't remember what it was, but it was weird.
Yeah.
And then the scene where Emma Stone is telling him sorry, and he has his mom hooked up to the hoses, and she's floating in the air.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand what was trying to be told there.
I felt like it was supposed to be like an abstract way of getting a lot of information to you quickly, like the first one with his mom and all the needles, like acupuncture, basically. That to me showed you that his mom is into conspiracy theories too. that she's a little bit overbearing, that he has to take care of her. He feels this devotion to her, and kind of that nothing that he does is good enough. That's what I got from that first dream sequence. And then the second one was the reveal that Emma Stone's character had actually kind of caused his mom's
Illness
sickness.
or whatever,
Yeah. And that they knew each other. So,
yeah. Well, what do you think? You got anything else you want to talk about?
that's all my notes.
Well, sweet. You want to start with a rating? Give this thing a burnt or buttered review rating.
Yeah. I thought about this movie a lot. When I left the theater, I really didn't have the first time when I left the theater, I really didn't have like the words to describe how I felt about this movie. It was very confusing. It took a lot of thought, The second time I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the first time I just didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
Second time I could just enjoy the movie because I knew what was coming. And I just had a good time. There wasn't really much that I would want to change. There were different directions that I could see it going that I thought were interesting, but I'm okay with where it went. And I'm going to give it a 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I feel differently about this one. And with the saying, this is just my opinion. Obviously, all my reviews are my opinion.
That's all we're doing.
And I think objectively, you can look at this movie and feel like it's a good movie, and that it was shot well. There was good performances, but at the end of the day, for me, I just left the theater not really loving it. Like I feel like I feel like it's the reveal of Emma Stone being the Andromedon Emperor and killing the whole human race and everything. It kind of just, like, when she popped that bubble of the earth, it popped my enjoyment of the movie. And I just wish I would have gone something different at the end. And what that would be, I don't know. The reveal still could have been there, and there could have been some sort of thing that worked out or didn't work out, or at least an additional timeline that it wasn't immediate. Like, she didn't get to the ship, pop the bubble, poof, all humans are dead. Like, at least give me a little bit more after that. I don't know. So for me, I am going to give it a 2.8. And
that's what I expected from you.
And yeah, this one's an interesting one because obviously we had pretty different views on our review of the movie at the end. I feel like we saw very similar things in the movie, and we appreciated very similar things as the movie went on. But just, final feeling was very different. And so let us know what you guys thought.
Let us know. This could be a pretty confusing one for people.
All right. Well, we'll see you in the next one.